Creating good-looking base shapes from which we can construct a texture has been a key workflow in Substance Designer pretty much from day one, and things are no different in today's version. Because of this, we will take a look at the Shape Extrude node next, and see how it can help us create dynamic shapes that have depth for use in our textures. Let's make sure then that we are focused on the number 16 Shape Extrude pin, select the node of the same name, and then press the backspace key. After clicking the connection line that remains, or on the Transformation 2D node, we can press the spacebar key and type the word Shape X. From the list that appears, we can then click to add the Shape Extrude node. The first two options that we come to on the node are the Extrude Height and Depth. As we adjust the height, we can set how high the input shape goes. At this moment in time, of course, we are using the default cylinder shape. The control is perhaps a little misleadingly named because what it is actually doing is setting the height of our extrude from the center upwards, which of course then begs the question, what does the depth value control then? Well, if we increase and decrease the value here, you can hopefully see that what it is doing is adjusting the extrusion from the center downwards. The shape drop-down lets us use one of two defaults that can be seen as we click through them, although the most useful option in our case is going to be the custom input. Let's click to select that option, and we instantly see our relief shape appear, meaning we can now set the height and depth controls to values of 0.32 and 0.4 respectively. The next drop-down gives us control over the shape of the extrude along both axes. Let's set this to vertical gradient, and then, with no node selected, press the spacebar key, and search for and add a gradient linear 1 node, piping it into our new input once added. As you can see now, where we have black in our gradient, the extrude tapers right down, and if we set the tiling on the gradient node to a value of 2, we can really see this effect in action. We can of course use the custom gradients to create a shape of our choosing, which really offers us a lot of power and choice over how the extrusion looks. For our shape, we will delete the gradient linear 1 node here, and set the drop down back to straight. We can also set the scale to 1, which will use the exact size of our custom shape input. The bevel height option, as we adjust, sets how large the bevel at the edges of our extruded shape will be, while the bevel intensity sets how strong the effect is. In fact, if we adjust the bevel curve to be a value of minus 0.7, which creates a concave curve, and then adjust the height and intensity options, we can really see how this affects the extrusion. If we set the curve value to a positive number, we get a more traditional rounded bevel look. For our texture, let's use height, intensity, and curve values of 0.34, 0.22, and minus 0.98. We can then set the mirror bevel option to true, which applies our bevel controls to the bottom extrude as well as the top. The position X and Y controls can be adjusted by clicking on the small circle icon in the 2D view and dragging like so, allowing us to interactively set the rotation of our shape. Or, as we will do here, we can punch in numeric values such as 0.5 and 0.2. This now gives us a more complex shape that can be fed into our height and normal nodes to create a nice looking bit of detail. As you have seen then, the possibilities that it offers for creating interesting shapes and patterns makes this node a fantastic addition to the texturing arsenal offered by Substance Designer.